Joining us to discuss her work in the ongoing battle against food insecurity is CEO and founder of Goodr, Jasmine Crowe. Thank you so much for being here, Jasmine.
Now, thank you so much for having me.
Now, you've said that food insecurity isn't an issue of scarcity, but of logistics. So can you talk a little bit about how you use tech and logistics to actually combat food scarcity?
Absolutely. I mean, you just stated it right there. We have 72 billion pounds of perfectly good food that's going to waste every single year. So the idea that we need to produce more food to serve the growing population isn't exactly true. We look at hunger being a matter of logistics, and it's about connecting this excess food. Instead of it going into waste, why don't we get it to people who eat it before it gets wasted? And that's kind of what we're doing. We're connecting food with people.
Tell me about the legalities around this, because I, have been a part of a number of programs saying to people, hey, why don't we go to restaurants and get them to donate what they have at the end of the night and then be able to hand it out to people, right? And so many folks, restaurateurs are an example that I'm using just from my own personal experience, but my understanding is that there's a liability associated with passing out food to people that some don't necessarily want to take the risk around, which is why we also end up with a lot of, food that's usable in the trash. Talk to me about how you've navigated that, the liability and legal landscapes, and what exactly, Goodr is able to do to get food out to people.
Well, I think that is, something we've all heard, and I heard it certainly when I was first getting started with Goodr. But in reality, since 1996, under President Bill Clinton, when he signed the Good Samaritan Act, it really does protect businesses that are donating food in good faith. We're seeing countries like France and Italy where it's actually illegal for businesses to throw away perfectly good food. They have to donate it or they get fined. And we're starting to see some similar things happening across the U.S. in states like California, New York, and New Jersey. Because the truth is, as this food sits in landfills, it produces methane gas, and it's a leading contributor to global climate change. So all of these people making pledges, we're going to cut food waste, we're going to be more sustainable. Food waste is a big part into why our climate is like it is today. So I'm really hopeful that we're going to see more legislation get passed to actually make businesses.
Well, I got to tell you that when I saw that you all have a free in-school grocery store that you created with Ghana called the Drip Market, I thought, this makes perfect sense, because we know that so many young people, so many families and communities are going without every meal, multiple meals a day. And often school is the only place that they're accessing good, healthy meals, and living in communities that have food deserts. So like parents can't even get out to get food. So how did you come up with this idea to like center this market in a school, and tell us, how that's going?
Well, I love that you saw it. Goodr has been producing pop-up grocery stores where we're essentially bringing, a grocery store into a food desert for about 4 years. And I've been saying, like, gosh, I really want a brick and mortar location that's sustainable, that continue to restock, and that serves families all the time. Since 2018, really helping him initiatives. And he reached out to me about doing something for back to school. I said, let's not do another backpack drive, and build something that is part of your legacy, that could last and be around for forever. And he thought, this is amazing. He said, let's do it. And presented him with an idea of a grocery store. This is actually the middle school that he attended. And when I talked to the principal, everything you said is spot on. These we brought some lunch at school and going home to not really good meals. Now we've put the onus of a child to be able to bring home food for the family. And that is just revolutionary. And so many families are shopping in this store on a weekly basis. And it feels really good to know.
This is so awesome. Jasmine, please stick with me through the break. We have more to talk about, including your upcoming book. We'll be right back. My conversation with Jasmine Crowe is going to continue next on Amplified. Stay tuned here on BNC. We're back. In addition to actively working to combat hunger on both the national and local scale, Jasmine Crowe is also an author. Everybody Eats is Jasmine's first self-published children's book. It's designed to teach young people about the importance of reducing food waste and fighting hunger. It'll hit bookshelves next week on October 26th. Jasmine, thanks for sticking with me. I want to hear all about this book. What is it about, and why did you decide to write this story for kids?
Thank you so much. You know, I'm a new mom. I have a 9-month-old daughter, so I'm excited about that. And I'm often asked, will I solve hunger in my lifetime? And I tell everybody 100% I want to, but I don't know if I will. And I want it to inspire the next generation to pick up the torch and fight hunger with me. Also, I self-published the book because I wanted to donate all proceeds to feed other children. I have a lot of programs in the community that feed kids on the weekend. I'm looking to open more of these grocery stores like the one. And so now I can actually reinvest all of the profits back into feeding more people.
I love the way that you are paying it forward and making sure that you groom the next generation. I have little kids too, and excited about your book. When kids pick it up and they read it, what do you hope that they learn and take away from it?
Oh, one, I got to get you a book, so make sure I get your address so I can send you one. But what I'm seeing and what I'm hoping is this story essentially follows a girl who volunteers at a food bank with her mom and dad on the weekend, and she sees a friend from school who's there to receive food. And it teaches kids empathy. It's a very great character building lesson. She then goes on this mission to educate everyone she can about hunger and about food waste to make sure people like her friend don't go hungry. So it's a very great lesson that I think parents and kids are going to love.
So Carter, the protagonist in this book, I'm curious, was that character inspired by anyone?
It was inspired by me. So it's my story in so many ways. It's my TED Talk written into a children's book, but real stories. I had a friend that I learned that was experiencing hunger, and that really shook me to my core because I think we don't think of people that are our peers as being people that can experience hunger. A couple of years in the whole story of my hunger fight, I began to take it very serious.
Wow. Check out the book, y'all. It's called Everybody Eats, Jasmine Crowe. It is available next Tuesday, October 26th. We so appreciate you and all of your work. Thank you for joining us.